they get right of first refusal on the next tract away. So what happens is that CAUV goes away, and you get 3 years with big feet. So just get, and don't put me into the numbers. And I'm not, you know, I'm not complaining about this. Good for them. That makes me happy. They give out $28,000 the minute I last, of course, not literally, but you know.
But the other nice is they're going to build a $300,000 house. Why don't we come to the that's the service.
You are.
What we could handle in our area. We talked about.
Yeah, that is true.
Housing.
Right. There was some, like 250 that I.
There are some of them.
Yeah, there's component. Yeah, right.
So there's capital too.
And I don't know if we would do that, but we would look at it. I mean, there's a legal issue. Just a legal question. I don't know if we can.
Fair legal.
That's what I hear. Oh, it's my pleasure. I gotta go cut on my nose before it starts.
It's gonna be. Good. Moving. How are you?
Did you get your check today?
I'm still short one.
Oh, she's been loving the updates. We're in a current standoff, not helping each other. She said that she doesn't need any help.
I didn't have you for did I?
I'm sorry?
I didn't have you for now. I had somebody else.
Yeah, struggle about 7. Yeah, the 17-year-old.
Yeah, I didn't check the baker. I said one of the.
She hasn't. I said, the only help I give you is getting you to school at 7:45.
Have you done 2 or 3?
You need a teammate?
How much check you got?
Find the seat.
I'll have to find out, 'cause I thought this one was the.
I'd like to call the Wilmington City Council October 21st, regular meeting to order. May we have roll call, please?
Jay McKay.
Here.
Snar.
Here.
Pickert.
Here.
Turkey.
Here.
Evelyn. Here. Learman.
Here.
Swindler.
Here.
Everybody's here. You'd all stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Just join me for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Under the president's portion tonight, we have the review and approval of the agenda. Are there any comments? Or should we have a motion to approve? Second. Motion by Swindler, second by McKay to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda is approved. Also approval of the October 7th regular council meeting minutes. What is your pleasure?
Second.
Motion by Swindler, second by Pickett, to approve the October 7th minutes as presented. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting minutes are approved. Mayor Stanford, you're up.
See, this Saturday, October 23rd, 5 to 6:30 at JW Denver Williams Jr. Memorial Park is our annual drive-through trunk or treat. Also on the 23rd, from 11 to 1 and 4 to 6, we're going to have the Talking Tombstones at the Illinois County History Center. First ever historical Sugar Grove Cemetery self-guided tour featuring costume interpreters. Visit ClintonCountyHistory.org for ticket sales. Also on the 23rd, Drowsy Labs, 7:30 at the Murphy Theater. Need tickets? Call the Murphy. And on Saturday, on the 23rd, start your day off from 10 to 12 at the Clinton County Youth Center, 302 West Sugar Tree Street. Volunteers will plant trees, bike path beautification, and improving accessibility to the public disc golf course. Well, that's going to be a busy day on Saturday. On Sunday, there's trunk or treat at 6:30 at the Wilmington Church of God at 909 West Locust Street. Beggars Night is Thursday, October 28th, from 6 to 8. There's going to be a prescription drug take back in Clinton County. That's going to be on the 23rd from 10 to 2 at Ewell's IGA in Savannah, and also at the Wilmington Municipal Parking Lot. Again, the drugs that you're not using anymore, please don't flush them. Bring them in, get them recycled. Friday, November 19th, there's going to be soup to go. This is the Clinton County Homeless Shelter fundraiser. It's going to be from Friday, November 19th, 11 to 1 p.m. You can get chili or chicken noodle soup. Call ahead. Orders must be placed no later than noon Friday on the 12th. It's a drive-through event located at 390 West Main Street, and I think that's where the homeless shelter is. You've also received a handout on renewal of the mental health levy, and I'm going to introduce Rhea Hakola, and she's going to address us about the, you want to,
Yes, indeed.
oh, did the boss show up?
Well, I don't know the boss. But, so I'm Jeff Ryan. I work for the Mental Health Recovery Board. Ray is a colleague of mine. And I want to talk to you guys about the levy tonight. So we, every 5 years, come back to the voters to talk about the Mental Health Recovery Board levy. It's a 1 mil levy. We haven't changed that since 2002. And so when you talk about what is that value, for every $100,000 of appraised value, it's like $2 a month. It's less than $20, $24 a year. And we take all that funding and fund provider agencies to do treatment for mental health recovery services, including addiction services, mental health services, kids services, prevention services. It's a pretty wide swath of services. So you know about Tower House, you know about Solutions, you know about Beach Acres maybe, Mental Health America, New Housing Ohio. Those are all provider entities for us. By state statute, we're not allowed to actually provide services. We have a clinical team that includes Rhea, myself, Patty Otting, and then our prevention specialist, Tommy Koopman. And what we try to do is survey the community and then set programs in place that help create a safety net for those that don't have coverage. Some of the mental health services are not covered by traditional insurance. There's a parity law that's always changing what covers, what it doesn't, but not everything is covered. So one of the programs that Rhea manages is our intensive adult case management. These are services where people need far more coverage, and those are things that a traditional insurance company wouldn't pay for. We do things like the hotline. Hotline services are mandated by the state, but there are things that an insurance company doesn't cover, because how does one person pay their little piece to a hotline that has to run 24/7? So we've appreciated the support that we've had from the city of Wilmington, the residents that live here, and the residents of Clinton County, and we look forward to being able to serve you guys in the continuation. The levy funds that we bring in pull up 51% of our annual budget. And so that allows us to have the flexibility to do things that aren't necessarily given the flavor of the week. The state dollars that come from federal government sometimes say you have to use this dollar on this person with this diagnosis. The levy dollars allow us to say, okay, that was last week, you're not giving us new money for that. We can sustain it here, but we can also try to figure out what else is coming. We know that substance use is still pretty heavy, and I heard that there was some, recent rash of some new overdoses, and so we're trying to do some harm reduction stuff by making sure that Narcan is available. And then we're also trying to find ways to get those people into treatment services. One of our levy-funded projects is to have Nicole wander around Clinton County as part of the Hope Line, connecting people to treatment services when there's a need, when somebody reaches out to her. And so that's something that we fund entirely with levy funds. So that's a little bit about everything we do. We do have a website that's mental health, Citizens for Mental Health, and you can find on the sheet that Ray already passed out. We've got additional information there. Pick up the phone, send us an email. We're there. We're willing to, chat, have a conversation. We try to come out and hit a variety of the subcommittees. So I was here earlier today at the Criminal Justice Planning Board, and driving home it took 30 minutes. So I said, I got 30 minutes to get back there. That apparently wasn't enough time, so just beat the buzzer. But we appreciate you guys having us and look forward to continuing your search. Do you have any more to add?
No, maybe we do a lot of, our services are evidence-based programming and treatment. So as we are good steward of the taxpayers' money, our purpose is really to create collaboration and leverage the existing resources. So every year we are looking what is the community needing, what kind of things we are hearing back, and try to plan programming accordingly. Because as directed by Ohio Revised Code, our job is to plan, fund, monitor, and evaluate. So we do that, and I think usually when we are audited, we have been passing those with flying colors, so we get always the highest marks. But it's always a pleasure to be here, and we surely appreciate your support, and as well as hoping that we can say, please vote for the renewal, because that's very small amount. It's actually less than $22 a year. That's a lot.
Yeah, and a couple of services I didn't mention are those that we do in the jail. So not every county has access to therapists in the jail. And we have a contract with Talbot House to have 2 physicians there and actually have a prescriber to do some medication management with those individuals that are there. And that was something that was raised from the community. Like, people go to jail, they're not on their meds, they're not seeing their therapist, what can we do? And so we were able to carve some specific funding to that. So that's one of those levy-funded projects that we have. And we're really proud of the work that we can do there to continue somebody in their journey to better health while they're incarcerated. So I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could add a personal comment, I remember back, I think in the years of '07 and '09, when Randy Riley became our mayor, he stepped aside as a member of that board, and I think we had like 3 representatives from Clinton County on the board. I was asked to fill the term, and I'll tell you, it's, once you get involved in that, you see really the kind of services that this entity does. And Bill Harper was the original executive director, and I remember we hired Brent Lawyer after that. But it's certainly a good program, and I think it's certainly worthy of taxpayers hopefully renewing it again. We appreciate all your hard work and all your efforts.
Thank you.
Jeff, thank you, Rev, for coming up and informing us. I was afraid that you were going to try to sell us lemons.
It's the shirt.
That's a lame joke, wasn't it? Lemons. Sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Auditor Vance is not with us tonight. I'm assuming no one else has a report. Safety Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have one item tonight. I believe all of the council members have seen something like this before. I think we've done a G11 waiver. But if you haven't, what this is, we are in negotiations with our dispatch unit. And this is a weird thing in the ORC that basically says that if, and I hope we don't have to use this, but if the negotiations go into next year, after the contract expires by the end of this year, a arbitrator, conciliator, fact finder, whatever you want to call him, they cannot do a wage adjustment until the following year of 2023. It's just the way the ORC is written. This waiver allows the fact finder, if we need it, to say, hey, we can do a wage adjustment retroactive back to the December 31st of this year. That's all it is. It's something, previously I always sent an email out to all of you with like, but I'm pretty sure all of you got the email before. But if you have any questions about this waiver, it's standard. We've done it before. We do it every time in case we need it. So, any questions? Okay.
So we
And it's just a simple motion. It's not like an official ordinance or resolution. I just need a motion authorizing the administration to enter into the G11 waiver with the union.
Any further discussion? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to authorize the administration to enter into the G11 waiver.
Second.
Motion by Perky, second by McKay, to enter into the G11 waiver. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution is accepted.
That's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Who was that second?
McKay. Thank you. Moving into council committee reports. City Revitalization Committee, Mr. Snar.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. City Services Committee, Mr. Evelyn.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Finance Committee, Ms. Pickard.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have two pieces of legislation this evening. The first is 3 readings on ordinance 2145, making supplemental appropriations. We have 2 items on this piece of legislation. The first is in the amount of $25,000. This was just mistakenly transferred out of the lines, just putting it back into the budget. So nothing of significance there other than that mistake that we're correcting. And then the second item is income tax refunds. So another pretty routine piece of supplemental appropriations. Any questions? I will ask for the first reading on ordinance 2145 by title only. Second.
Motion by Pickard, second by Spindler. First reading ordinance 2145. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May we have first reading, please?
An ordinance making supplemental appropriations.
I move to suspend the rules and regulations and give second and third reading of ordinance 2145 by title only. Second.
Motion second for suspension of the rules. May we have roll call, please?
Evelyn,
Yes?
Learman,
Yes.
Spindler,
Yes.
McKay,
Yes.
Snar,
Yes.
Pickert,
Yes.
Perky.
Yes.
Motion carries. May we have second, third reading, please?
An ordinance making supplemental appropriations.
Move for passage. Second.
Motion second for passage. Roll call, please.
Learman,
Yes.
Spindler,
Yes.
McKay,
Yes.
Snar,
Yes.
Pickert,
Yes.
Perky,
Yes.
Evelyn.
Yes.
Ordinance 2145 passes.
Thank you. Our second piece of legislation, this is on ordinance 2146, making miscellaneous transfers. We do have several of these. I'll walk you all through these in case you do have any questions. Item A, this is for mobile video recorders for the cruisers. And I did want to note that municipal court is contributing $12,000 towards these. Item B, this is for the purchase of a vehicle in 2021. We're kind of speeding this up because vehicles are hard to come by right now, and this is one that matches our colors, it's close by, it makes sense to do this now so that we have this. Item C, this is for the cemetery. They're going to purchase pallet forks, a tripod for headstone repairs, and an additional leaf blower because tis the season for that. Item D, this is due to higher fuel prices. We've seen this in some other meetings as well. Item E, the $1,500, this is for the city prosecutor and the continuing education credits that they need to maintain their law license. Item F, this is for the motor for aeration at the Air Park Tower went out, so this is being replaced and the contractor will actually be replacing that. Item G, anticipate a shortage here in this line. This is for squad equipment maintenance. Same thing with the next item H. This is also for vehicle fuel. We anticipate a shortage there due to higher prices. Item I, this is for fire uniforms. Item J, this is for lab equipment, and it is a fundamental piece of equipment required by the EPA. It's only $2,700, but it's something that we do have to have. Item K, we anticipate additional drug testing needed for the rest of 2021. And the last item, this is replenishing funds for this line. This is repairs for the taxis. Any questions on those? I know there were quite a few this evening.
Are we anticipating additional drug testing?
For
The new hires, or is that?
I'm not sure what it said.
Is it for new hires?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was anticipating. it
It's
to
not
be
for new hires, it's for existing, I'm sorry, is it okay?
Are they ran? No, that's
That's
great.
what I
Yeah, it's random alcohol
Okay.
and drug tests.
Yes.
It's required by FDA.
Right.
So we just need additional because of more people being there. We'll have, okay.
Yes.
I was like, wait, do we hire more people?
No.
I'm asking a loaded question there, but I'm getting the long way around, right? Like,
You know, we were short-staffed,
Right.
but, and in addition.
okay.
Thank you for the clarification. Any other questions? Happy to entertain those. Okay. I'll ask for first reading on ordinance 2146 by title only.
Motion by Pickard, second by Swindler, first reading ordinance 2146. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First reading, please.
An ordinance making miscellaneous transfers.
I move to suspend the rules and regulations and give second and third reading of ordinance 2146 by title only.
Second.
Motion by Pickard, second by Snar for suspension of the rules. May we have roll call, please?
Swindler,
Yes.
McKay,
Yes.
Snar,
Yes.
Pickert,
Yes.
Perky,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes?
Learman.
Yes.
Motion carries. Do we have second and third reading, please?
An ordinance making miscellaneous transfers.
Move for passage.
Second.
Motion by Pickard, second by Snar for passage. Roll call, please.
McKay,
Yes.
Snar,
Yes.
Pickert,
Yes.
Perky,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes?
Learman,
Yes.
Swindler.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2146 passes.
Thank you. Just want to note that we will have a finance committee meeting on November 4th prior to the next council meeting. We're starting to move into budget season. I know the auditor will be in that meeting and we'll have some things to go through. So anyone who wishes to sit in on that, you're more than welcome. And otherwise, we'll have more budget updates coming shortly.
Are we gonna try to have a workshop?
We will have a budget workshop, just not there yet. But we will have a finance committee at the next meeting when we start that process.
Thank you.
I spoke with the auditor, she would like to do the budget true-up for 2021 first.
Yep. Nothing further.
Thank you very much. Judiciary Committee, Mr. Burton.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. Everybody in Snickers bar. The first thing on our agenda tonight is ordinance 2147. This involves the floodplain update. FEMA requires us to update what we define our floodplains as. Is it decennial? Is it every 10 years? Is it every 5 years? Every 5 years. So every 5 years we have to kind of redefine what the floodplains are and the risk of each level. So we've done this before, but we want to do it does repeal and replace the ordinance. So we discussed it in the Judiciary Committee today briefly. Committee member Swindler did bring up that we didn't have the maps attached here, so I'm sure we can get them for the next reading. Mr. Scheider pointed out the door, no substantial changes, but we can have it for the next. But one, it is timely. FEMA has required us to have it done by November 19th, or it would prevent anyone in our county from potentially purchasing flood insurance or claiming flood. So it is a timely thing that we need to get taken care of. So we're asking for a first reading tonight. I'm happy to try to answer any questions or more realistically pawn them off on Mr. Scheidegger for him to answer. But if there are no questions or comments.
I got one. Will this map actually be on the website at some point in time? If it's not there already, it might already be there, but I will find out tomorrow. Yeah. I can't believe I had an opportunity to bring that tonight. And I didn't, the one time you were asking for Matt and I didn't bring it.
No one's more disappointed than Brian.
I'm kicking myself.
Any other questions?
I'll find out tomorrow.
No? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move to the first reading of ordinance 2147 by title only.
Second.
Motion by Perky, second by McKay. First reading ordinance 2147. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First reading, please.
An ordinance rescinding ordinance 4905, adopting the flood insurance study and flood insurance rate map for Clinton County, Ohio, and incorporated areas, adopting flood control regulations and procedures for the city of Wilmington, and declaring an emergency.
All right. So that's it for that tonight. I would ask for the second and third reading to be at our next meeting on November 4th. I'm sure we'll have plenty of maps by then to answer any clarifying questions. But the second thing on our agenda is ordinance 2137. If you remember our last meeting, we had a pretty lengthy discussion about the idea of eliminating the assistant police chief position and creating an administrative sergeant, which everyone seemed to be pretty amenable to. So I won't belabor the point and go through the whole discussion again. I'll just ask if there are any questions or anyone needs clarification regarding this ordinance. So, seeing none, I'll move to suspend the rules and regulations, give ordinance 2137 a second and third reading by title only.
Second.
We have a motion by Perky, second by Eagle, for suspension of rules. May we have roll call, please?
Perky,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes.
Learman,
Yes.
Swindler,
Yes.
McKay,
Yes.
Snar,
Yes.
Pickert.
Yes.
Motion carries. Second, third reading, please.
An ordinance, amending codified ordinance, section 123.02, formal ordinance 4748, composition of police force. For the city of Wilmington, codified ordinances eliminating the assistant chief position.
All right, I move for passage.
Second.
Have a motion and a second by Pickett for passage. Roll call, please.
Evelyn,
Yes.
Learman,
Yes.
Swindler,
Yes.
McKay,
Yes.
Snar,
Yes.
Pickert,
Yes.
Perky.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2137 passes.
All right. Our next item is ordinance 2138. This is an ordinance that allows us to, basically gives us some latitude to hire some ad drivers and dispatchers. So deals with declassifying or unclassifying those positions so that we can raise their pay, make changes as needed. So were there any questions you have since the last meeting about this? Yes, ma'am.
Julie Bowman, 52 East Vine Street, resident of the beautiful First Ward. I had a question about Parks and Recreation Superintendent. There's a strike-through per park board. I am the vice president of the park board, and I was wondering what that meant exactly, that strike-through deletion.
Clearly a typo. Yeah, that is definitely a typo.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was not aware of it.
I didn't see it, that wasn't in my copy.
Scrivener's error.
Yeah, we didn't touch it.
Yeah. So we would want to, are there any other questions about that before? Brett, what do we need to ask for reading with that amendment?
I believe it's a scrivener's error.
Okay.
It's a weird scrivener's error, but we can put it under that.
Okay.
Make sure that gets initial.
Yes. Any other questions? No, seeing none, I'll move to suspend the rules and regulations and give ordinance 2138 second and third reading by title.
Second.
Motion by Perky, second by Slender to suspend the rules, give ordinance 2138 second and third reading. Roll call, please.
Learman,
Yes.
Swindler,
Yes.
Jake McKay,
Yes.
Snar,
Yes.
Pickert,
Yes.
Perky,
Yes.
Evelyn.
Yes.
Motion carries. May we have second and third reading, please?
An ordinance, amending ordinance number 0-20-37, establishing classification and salary ranges for certain city employees, repealing ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict herewith.
Okay. Move for passage. It's 2138.
Second.
Have a motion by Perky, second by Learman for passage. Roll call, please.
Swindler,
Yes.
Jay McKay,
Yes.
Snar,
Yes.
Bickert,
Yes.
Perky,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes.
Learman.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2138 passes.
All right. Next thing up here, we have an update on our CRA discussion. So we've had several lengthy discussions about our CRA at the last few meetings. We did have a judiciary committee meeting tonight, and Mr. Evers from the Port Authority has shared that the developer was interested in a compromise plan. So the judiciary committee is going to work up some new legislation for that piece of, for that compromise. We will have another meeting before our next council meeting on the 4th. The details of that compromise were a 10-year, 100% abatement with a 6-year sunset, and a cap, which is the numbers to be determined on the number of homes that could qualify for it. So a lot of due diligence to be done between now and then to rework numbers, to make sure that council has all the information they need to make the most informed decision possible. But there's nothing for us to do tonight other than for us to tell you, for anyone that wasn't in the room. But we will be having a judiciary committee meeting before the next council meeting to discuss, move on to council, and then discuss further at that council meeting and potentially have a first vote. So we're not going to be amending or changing the current ordinance, which was attached as 2139. The intention will be to have a whole new piece of legislation that will come forward. So, any other questions? I think all of council is here for the meeting, so I know you kind of all have the details, but is there any questions from anyone in the audience? Or?
I just want to make sure that the spreadsheets are sent all to council, just not judiciary, and we get them in a timely fashion for questions and everything.
I can tell you that once I get them, I'll send them to all council, but I know that they'll definitely be included in your packet too. So, any other questions? Okay. That's the shortest CRA discussion we've ever had.
Longer ones to follow.
So I think just like the last meeting when Councilperson Evelyn did this, I was looking at 41 when we were talking about 38 and we started talking about cab drivers. So I know this one's your baby. So this is unclassifying the salary ranges for the dispatcher and the transit driver. So thank you all for bearing with my mistake there. Are there any questions regarding that at all? No? Seeing none, I'll move to suspend the rules and regulations to give ordinance 2141 second and third reading by title only.
Second.
I have a motion by Perky, second by Evelyn, for suspension of rules ordinance 2141. Give second and third reading. Roll call, please.
McKay,
Yes.
Snar,
Yes.
Bickert,
Yes.
Perky,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes.
Learman,
Yes.
Swindler.
Yes.
Motion carries. May we have second and third reading, please?
An ordinance establishing unclassified positions and salary ranges for certain city employees and declaring an emergency.
Move to pass ordinance 2141 is read.
Second.
Motion second for passage ordinance 2141. Roll call, please.
Snar,
Yes.
Bickert,
Yes.
Perky,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes.
Learman,
Yes.
Swindler,
Yes.
McKay.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2141 passes.
Believe it, that's all I have, Mr. President.
Great, thank you, Councilman Perky. Committee, Ms. Swindler.
I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Solid waste recycling, Mr. McKay.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you. You have in your packet the auditor treasurer's report for September 2021. What is your pleasure?
Move to be accepted as presented.
Good.
Motion by McKay, second by Ms. Swindler to accept the report as presented. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Report is accepted. Now we open the meeting to anyone in the public that would like to speak with council. Please come forward and state your name and address. Keep your comments as brief as possible. No takers. Anyone in council that would like to speak to this group?
Yeah, I just wanted to give an update on the Clinton County Coalition on Homelessness. There has been one Coalition of Community Forum, which was tonight at 6 o'clock. The next one will be November 17th, that's a Wednesday from 6 to 7. And they'll be giving updates on the coalition's plan to combat homelessness.
And where's that going to be held at?
It's online right now.
Thank you, Councilman Snar. Anyone else?
Mr. President, I have been told by a higher authority than myself that the 11 a.m. and the 4 p.m. cemetery walking tour has sold out. So there's 160 participants so far, and so the 11:30 is teetering on selling out too. So it is quickly filling up. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, make sure you go ahead and get them. So yeah, so we got about 160 people so far.
And you happen to be one of the participants, is that correct?
Yes, I am going to be playing General Denver, and I'm going to have a wife. Her name is Louise. Yes, and her real name is Molly.
All right. Any other, anyone else from the council wish to speak? Not, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Oh, that's
Really?
generous.
I would gladly defer that.
John, are you going to out like the
Okay,
rest
I was
of
like,
us?
I feel terrible.
More out like the rest of us?